This here is the Pokemon Center Tokyo DX. How about this guy? They're actually connected by the ears too. And this is the Pokemon Center Skytree. The big Snorlax, 5,000 yen Snorlax. I'm pulling him by his ear, I'm so sorry. Charizard, if you want. Can you even take this on a plane? Which Pokemon Center should you visit on your next trip to Tokyo? We're gonna find out right here, right now. Now, in order to decide, I've listed these important 10 categories worth 10 points each for a total of 100. The Pokemon Center that gets the best out of 100 is the winner. Now we move on to the monthly merch. When you look at it and you walk in, you immediately see all the new merch, and it's Christmas time right now. Check it out. Hello, Christmas Pikachu, Christmas Palmy, and Christmas Psyduck. I really like this due to the color. With the Christmas plates here, spoon and fork, and the cups at a nice discount of 1,300 yen. It's like a bouquet of starter Pokemon, except for Pikachu, unless you have Pokemon Yellow, of course. I like this, it looks so cute. And the eyes of Fuecoco, he's so enjoying himself. So this right here, the Padilla's Christmas Market, I thought it was a poster, is sort of a flyer that hangs. See these buttons here? You can put ornaments like this to hang off of them. We don't have trees in Japan, so this is a very good replacement. And the Tokyo DX also has Christmas merch. Merry Christmas! It's not as soft as you would hope it would be, and you can't put anything inside of it. It's so fun to do this. Open, open, close. They have other additional monthly merch from prior to Christmas. A much cleaner area of Detective Pikachu. No one's here, maybe because it's like been a couple weeks, but still, so nice and peaceful in this corner. And even the Pokemon trainers are all here. I mean all here, literally. They still have them all. And the t-shirts. It's the same as the other Pokemon Center at the Skytree, but a big difference, at least according to me and what I can see, is that room right there. Overall, both get 10 out of 10 for monthly merch. It's amazing variety. Now you might be wondering, why these two Pokemon Centers? What do they have in common? Well, as you may or may not know, I searched this country for Pokelids. And if you don't know what that is, a Pokelid is essentially a Pokemon decorated manhole cover placed all over the country of Japan. And they've put over 300 of them so far, and it keeps going up. And I am on the pursuit to find every single one of them. And if you want to see that journey, subscribe to this channel, because every single one is original and has beautiful Pokemon artwork on it. Now, back to my original point. Why these two Pokemon Centers? So since I'm the Pokelid guy and I search Pokelids and I happen to be in Tokyo, I figured why not compare Pokemon Centers that are nearby Pokelids. Right here, I'm at Ueno Park right now. And Ueno Park is the home of two Pokelids. One, for example, looks like this. So I search on Google for the nearest Pokemon Center nearby this lid right here, and I see that 3.9 kilometers away is the Skytree and 4.4 kilometers away is Tokyo DX. Being that those are the two closest, let's compare them. Now right away, because of the vicinity of 3.9 kilometers, the Skytree has to get a 10 out of 10. Tokyo DX is not that far off. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Next up, let's talk about plushes and which one has the better variety of plushes. Because you know, you're always gonna wanna have something to take photos with, especially with these beautiful lids. Well, Tokyo DX has a wide variety of plushes available. I feel like it's one of the larger Pokemon Centers that exists in Japan. And they have this room, a specific Pokemon plush room. This room has Pokemon plushes everywhere, all different types, small ones, big ones, some that hug you, some that are weird looking, and overall, it's just a great atmosphere when you walk in. Currently, there's a whole bunch of Pikachus inside because of the My Pikachu series, but usually there's a great variety. I mean, even you look at the Pikachus, there are great variety in the Pikachus because they all have different mannerisms, faces, expressions, that sort of things. There's a lot to choose from in here. And because of that extra room, it gets a 10 out of 10. Now, the Skytree isn't holding back in its plushes either. Wow, the plushes section here actually is well organized. These are actually the smaller size ones that I haven't seen before. Then they have the fluffier versions, your legendary versions, What's this? Huge Pikachu, 8,000 yen Pikachu. Looks a little strange in the nose though. They brought the plushes here too, second section with Graveyard here. He's really soft actually. And the Tandem Mouse here, Belly Bolt. It's like a nice soft pillow. And he's so round. These are the mini keychains. Very, very cool. I thought I saw online that they had the Umbreon here, but they don't actually. They did 2 weeks ago, and I guess I missed out. There's all the Fit series here. Quite a bit. Gen 1, Gen 2. Not all of them, but a majority. Always Gen 5 is here. They always have a full selection of Gen 5. I found my sad section. There they are. This is one of my favorites. I love the sad ears, the sad mouth, even smaller mouth right there. The smaller the mouth, the better. It's still a great variety of options. And so because of that, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Now let's move on to organization. Both of them, hands down, were actually really well organized. The Tokyo DX, always organized really beautifully. You have that extra plush room, as I mentioned earlier, but you also have all the other merch laying outside, especially when you directly walk right in. You can already see what's new in store right away. And if you don't want plushes or the new merch, which is in the front or in the back if you walk further, there's always the cards and other additional items very well spaced out. So for that, it's a 10. The Skytree. This one blew my mind. I remember I went to the Skytree before and it wasn't that organized. Or it was organized, but I wouldn't say like perfect. But this time around, they reorganized the shelves. And because the shelves were a little more spaced out, especially the back wall where the plushes were, there was more space to walk around. And honestly, I thought it was well organized. So I also gave it a 10 as well. Now let's take a break real quick and showcase what you can do at these Pokelids, because we're at one right now. You see this one right here? That's the second one. And if you go open up Pokemon Go, if you play Pokemon Go, hopefully you do, you can spin these Pokestops. And these Pokestops give you beautiful Pokelid gifts, which you can send to your friends and also save to your own postcard, which was really cool because I wish they had this before when I was searching, but they've started it now and I'm trying to get them all. Of course, you can also do AR photos in Pokemon Go, so there's a couple things you can do within the game itself while you're at these lids. Now moving on, we go to our next category, which is other souvenirs. What other souvenirs you can get around the Pokemon centers? Well, Tokyo DX is sort of in its own location. There aren't anything really around. I guess if you count the Pokemon Cafe, it is a place where you can, have nice Pokemon food, and there are things you can get inside, but I would say that's a pseudo Pokemon Center. I'll give it some points there, so I'll say 6 out of 10. There isn't really much else other souvenirs you can get if you're not just a Pokemon fan but want to get other things. But the Skytree had Kirby Cafe. I saw Harry Potter merch, as my phone calls. There's so many other things, and it's at the Skytree Tower, so there's Skytree merch. So because of that, I give it a 9 out of 10. The next thing I want to talk about is touristy. Is there things to do there that you would normally do in your itinerary if you come to Japan? And for Tokyo DX, the answer is no. There isn't really much in the area. You might go to Tokyo Station, which is about a 10 to 15 minute walk away. But overall, I wouldn't call it a touristy area. So because of that, I give it a 5 out of 10. Now the Skytree, obviously, that one is at the Skytree. It's literally under it. The Skytree's right here, and the Pokemon Center is directly under it, a couple floors down, or a lot of floors down. You're most likely going to the Skytree if you come to Japan. So it's like hitting 2 birds, 1 stone there. The Skytree is a little bit out of the way. It's in Oshiage, so it's a little further than most, but still, I would give that a 9 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it is a location I feel a lot of people will go to, at least if you're going to travel up to the top of the tower. If I was coming to Japan, I would recommend not necessarily going to the tower, but finding a location where you can see the tower, because it's beautiful and it lights up. I've seen these before, the Pikachu, the Pawmi, and the Substitute Doll. I thought they were capes, but this is a good example of what they are right here. You see this? It's like a Snuggie, but like backwards. And I guess there's one button to close it, so you can wear this, keep your head warm, keep your shoulders warm, and your chest, you better wear something else. Now sometimes you want to take a selfie or, you know, interact with some of the items around, like I'm interacting with this Pokelid. I imagine at the Pokemon Centers that's something you would enjoy doing yourself. Selfie time. If you're going to the Pokemon Center, there's a couple things you can do that's interactive at, you know, Tokyo DX. Upon entry, if you go to the wall, you can see all the Pokemon games from Red, Blue, all the way to current gen. It's not necessarily interactive, but it's awesome that it like showcases you all that. But the really cool part is if you go to the back of the store, there is the Pokédex that you can touch the screen, grab Pokemon, look at the information, and see details like this Fragibax here. So because of that, 100% Tokyo DX is a 10 out of 10 in interaction. As for the Skytree, I'm not necessarily sure I can call anything in there interactive. There's no wall. There are statues, Rayquaza statues, which are beautiful. If we're gonna count the statues as like a point or two, we'll give it 2 points, but it definitely lacks in interactions. If we're trying to get that whole Pokemon experience, I mean, Tokyo DX wins outright right now. Let's move on to flagship Pokemon / statues. Now, if you look behind me, there's this huge statue of a whale right here. This whale actually is part of this museum right here, the National Museum of Nature and Science. And they have a dinosaur exhibit here within this museum. That's the reason why they have Tyrunt here. Tyrunt, being the dinosaur Pokemon that it is located on this lid, and the museum is actually within the lid at the top with a Y knot on the side. Pokelids have interesting visions and stories to tell, especially in each little location or prefecture. And it's so cool that you can, you know, come around and see each of these. This one has its own story. Basically, it's telling you, go to that museum, visit. Now, similar to this whale statue here, we have the Snorlax statue that sits right in front of the Tokyo DX. Beautiful, beautiful guy. Huge, has a Mew next to it. Pikachu on the top corner. It's nice. It's awesome. I love it. 100% amazing. The Skytree upon entrance, you have Rayquaza coming right directly out of the sky. They really thought it out when they made this Pokemon Center to have the details like that. But here, check this out. In the back, they have, shiny Rayquaza. I don't know about you, but because of 2 statues with so much detail, that's a 10. Now, I'm not knocking Tokyo DX for only having 1 statue, but I'm gonna have to give it a 9. It doesn't have the double Rayquaza. I mean, come on. Moving on to crowdedness. The crowdedness of both, not that bad. Not great. They're both in a little bit of touristy areas. Well, actually, Skytree's in a tourist area, so it has a lot of people at least more people than I expected. And then Tokyo DX is a really popular Pokemon Center, so it itself brings a lot of people. And it has the cafe there. I guess 7 out of 10 for both. Not the best, not the worst. Last up on our list is Pokemon TCG, the trading cards. Do they have Pokemon cards available? Do they sell Pokemon cards? Do they have Pokemon card item? Before we answer that, let's talk about this Pokelid that I'm at, which is not the Tyrunt lid, but the Baltoy lid. It sits in front of the Tokyo National Museum, which showcases a lot of the history of, well, Japan. I think because of the bronze and all the material that they utilize to create these armor and weapons is why Bronzor is on the lid. And Baltoy, I have a feeling it has to do with ancient ruins. Oh, also this lid is decorated with Pokeballs, which looks awesome as well. They're also nice enough to showcase a sign to tell you where the Pokelid is. I don't know if it's necessary since it's literally at the Pokelid. Now we're ready to discuss the trading card game and which one has the better options. Tokyo DX, because it's fairly popular. I wouldn't say it's in a popular touristy location, but it's fairly popular in terms of a Pokemon Center that people love to go to because it's a good Pokemon Center. But the Pokemon cards are sold out usually because it's like first come, first serve, and they usually go out quick. But the Skytree, what I noticed, and I didn't really get a video of it, but they actually still do have Pokemon cards available because it's not as populated and common to go. So because of that, I would recommend the Skytree location for Pokemon cards. Here's how you know there's a difference. Skytree could put the box set out and no one's gonna know any different and they can buy it directly by grabbing one. Pokemon Center DX has to put it behind the counter because it's so popular. That's a huge difference. More so than just the cards itself, there's also deck boxes, sleeves, mats, you name it, they have it. Both stores have it, but DX has a wider variety by far. They have a great Pokemon card section. So because their selection is great, but they don't necessarily have the cards all the time, 7. And because the selection is decent at the Skytree, but they have Pokemon cards usually in store, 8 out of 10. So if we add them up, which one wins today? The winner is the Pokemon Skytree with 84 points compared to Tokyo DX, which has 82 points. The recommendation for this video is Skytree, which I didn't expect myself, honestly. I thought the DX was definitely going to get a higher rating, but maybe it has to do with the categories that I've chosen. Either way, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully it helps you decide where you want to go. And if you enjoy Pokelids now, since you've maybe seen this for the first time, maybe you'll add that to your itinerary too. We'll do another one of these in the future, hopefully. Maybe another comparison between the Mega Pokemon Center in Tokyo and Shibuya, since they're sort of nearby each other. Well, seems like the crow wants me to go, so peace out.